Today we're going to be talking about dog bone mounts. So we have... Welcome back to the channel. Yeah,
I'm Stav.
Yeah, I'm George. Yeah, what's up? So we're going to be replacing the factory dog bone mount that has seen its fair share of abuse. We popped off the subframe really quick. The old subframe bushing, the dog bone bushing is OEM, has a lot of place, a lot of drag racing, half mile, maybe well over 800 launches, maybe, give or take. We've done 034 inserts. We even considered maybe leaving the stock one in there and then injecting like window weld into them to make a little bit more solid. And then we realized the 034 does make a replacement puck, and it is in rubber, which I do prefer. I do love rubber mounts as opposed to polyurethane, due for the sheer fact that they're more durable, they last long, they're more resilient, they don't crack on you as far as, polyurethane drying out, and there's been a lot of failures across the board with multiple brands with polyurethane mounts, especially for the longevity aspect of it. So 034 right now is the only player in the game offering upgraded rubber mounts just like they do on the engine. Now for the dog bone going to the bottom of the transmission, they offer these dual inserts, one for the top, one for the bottom, that come upgraded and fill in a lot more than the OEM. Now I'm going to try to pull out the OEM bushing without destroying it as much, but to show you guys the differences. But there's a shit ton of play in this. In fact, I'm going to spin around the subframe real quick and I'll show you how much play there is. And that's all just with finger pressure. And you can imagine now a car launching with 7, 8, 9, 1,000 horsepower, how much these things are moving. And again, 034 has made inserts. We've done numerous revisions, and they do help. But the problem that a lot of people have with these is this is the only thing that they do. Engine mounts is a huge upgrade in the RS3, which we've upgraded here time and time again with the 034 track, now street package. But a lot of people don't end up upgrading that. They upgrade this, which is a Band-Aid. It does help, but when it's the only upgrade you do and you don't upgrade the engine mounts, it's definitely going to be your number one failure when you go to race or you're doing a lot of launching. Even maybe with some street abuse,
you're definitely going to be mounts. You have the engine, the transmission, and then you have the dog bone here. So if this ends up being strong and then the other two are weak, this is just a Band-Aid like you said.
100%. Yeah, this thing's going to eat itself apart. So with the OEM one, we're going to press this one out, and then we're going to press in the new upgrades. Again, let's see if we can get a visual. So as you can see right through the OEM. It's not filled as much as a 034. Now, is this the best upgrade? Again, best is going to be very subjective. There's a lot of people that wear brand hats, post videos saying this is the best thing since sliced bread. We upgraded 034 engine mounts, and we tested them. Track abuse, street racing, street driving, and we know now with all the driving and the testing we've done with the 5-cylinder, even with the VR6 for the past year, we know that the 034 engine mounts are the best engine mount right now for the 8 VR6 and probably for the 8Y if they apply to the same parts. So with this is going to be the same thing. We're going to show you guys the install. We're going to show you guys the product differences, but I'll do a full review once we get the VR6 car here up and running in the next couple of weeks and we start making some real power and launching and seeing what the difference is and seeing how well it locks it down. But look at that. You can see right through, a lot of play. And I'm not sure if that back half is supposed to be connected.
It is.
You think so, or is 100%. It just broken?
I mean, most factory mounts, they end up being, open because again, this is only.
Well, look, the backside.
Yeah, it's broken. It's supposed to be connected.
I wonder if it's supposed to be connected. No, I don't think so. I think it's just like a little bumper there, but that's still open. And again, if I can move this with my finger and just push it up and down, then since we have the car now with the engine out, might as well just upgrade it and pop it out. Yep. So let's do that. Let's press this bad boy out, see what it looks like once we have it removed. Hopefully, we won't destroy it too much, and then press in the new 034. Dog bone mount puck upgrade, which is a full rubber bushing upgrade, and we'll slide it right into the OEM subframe here. All right, so one popped out on the floor already, that bottom half. Harbor Freight press for the win. Is it pressing through? Is it working? I think we got it through. Yeah, I think we're good. All right, these are the two that popped out of the subframe. Look, like you see right through them. Look at that. And it moves so easy. And it turns out the backside is not actually broken. It's just like a little bumper. I guess it's made to have a good amount of movement, I guess, for OEM fitment and setup. But look at all that space, look at all that real estate. And let's look at the other one. This is the top half. Doesn't look as beat up, but it articulates just as much. And these are the OEM pucks. Look at that, that's nasty. So on the right again is the OEM pucks, upper and lower, pretty much destroyed, weathered for the last 2 or 3 years. Pretty nasty. Again, all the abuse of all the racing, daily driving, going off-roading, launching. Again, 800 plus launches on these bad boys. Completely see-through, a lot of hollow points, no connections in the back. Same thing with the lower mount, very hollow. Again, eaten up, deteriorated OEM pieces. And we're going to be pressing in here the 034 upgraded dog bone mount bushings, which I'm really excited for to help lock things down, especially with the added weight added to the car, with the VR6 swap, the added torque, you know, to help keep everything locked down the way it's supposed to be. So look at these. Yeah, let's get these in the subframe real quick. So the first bottom bushing is in. Now we're going to press in the top, and then we should be done. And then we can reinstall the subframe into the car, and then finally get ready to put this fucking engine in. But yeah, the bottom half is already pressed in, so that's looking good. Lubed up the sides now, we'll put the other puck in and then slowly push it down in. All right, new 034 bushings, both upper and the lowers pressed in and installed. Power washed the subframe to kind of clean it up. And we also power washed the engine bay to make sure it's nice and clean too. So we're gonna reinstall this subframe and call it a day. Let's throw it in real quick. Right, subframe is installed, bushings installed. Unfortunately, I can't take the car out currently, as we're going to be waiting to take this for a drive as soon as we get the motor installed, and everything has been coming together and getting mocked up. All the accessories are pretty much installed, welded in the bungs for the individual EGTs, waiting for the sensors to arrive, but everything is coming together really nicely. We're waiting on the fluid kit for the DSG transmission. What else are we waiting on? O-rings for the thermostat housing. I got a new gasket and thermal spacer for the intake manifold. That's going to be coming in.
Water pump gasket?
No, that's already in because the water pump's in, so we're good to go. The last bit, I need to make an actual dump pipe. Before I just had kind of like a 4-inch pipe going down on a stock motor. Didn't really matter. So I'm going to mock up, well, the turbo kit's pretty much mocked up already, but I think I'm going to make a dump pipe to come all the way around. I was going to make it come back into the actual downpipe, but I don't think it matters at this point, Stav. Being that the O2 sensor is way up here. I mean, we can move it further down if we need to and then maybe put it over here. But no sense in kind of modifying the dump pipe now. But I think I'm going to make a dump pipe for the gate. Just leave it screamer pipe open. Might as well. It's going to be an animalistic sound anyway. But the engine is pretty much there to get dropped into the engine bay. Engine bay has been power washed and kind of scrubbed. All the dirt and grime, especially with the subframe coming out. So that was the big thing. I didn't even want to do it. Stav's the one who pushed me to do it. I didn't want to do it. I didn't want to yank the subframe and mess with that bushing, but I'm glad we did. I'm glad the old one, the worn out bushing kind of popped out. But guys, the motor is getting there and it's almost ready to drop in. Look at that. Look at that. We're getting there, guys. This is going to be some fun coming up here in the next couple weeks. Figuring this car out, breaking some stuff, making some power, kind of figuring it out. Especially seeing if all the wiring that Stav did is actually going to work.
We already saw it worked. It was running.
We're going to see if it was running with the built motor, man. You got the EGT sensors you got to wire in.
What we're going to see is if you time the motor correctly.
Also, that is true. That is true. We're also going to be relocating the fuel pressure regulator to the rear. It's going to open up all this space.
And let's talk about the fuel pressure regulator. Before I started wiring, I said, George, you sure you don't want it in the back? And what'd you say?
I didn't want to move it.
Okay, so and then I wired the sensor here, and I made you move the flex fuel sensor to the back. So, of course, now before we put the motor in, George is like, hey, I'm going to move the regulator to the back.
Pretty much. So the wiring for this actual sensor stuff, you're going to have to route it all the way to the trunk.
I appreciate it. I'm glad we knew where everything was going before we started wiring.
No problem. It's just, just a couple wires you're going to have to relocate stuff, and then plus it's going to give us all this real estate to do pretty much whatever we want. Maybe that screamer pipe I can have come out, go through the fender actually through here.
Maybe.
Who knows?
Or maybe you can't. Whichever knows. We don't know. We don't know.
But we are going to be relocating this to the trunk, and then I got to finish plumbing the actual surge tank kit anyway. Stav already wired it, so I got to make the fuel lines for it. So we're there, guys. We're basically on third base, heading for home. Just the last tidbits and small details, especially now with this built motor. A few things are changing, guys. So we're going to be altering the setup a little bit, but nothing too crazy. Again, now with the built motor going into play, bigger boost, more power, and launching this car for the first time with a VR6. I haven't launched it before with the VR on a stock motor. I didn't see any need to. I just kind of drove it around everywhere, went to work, went to like car events. The stock, so I'll tell the truth. I was afraid of the stock motor like breaking. It was a junkyard VR6 3.2 liter. It's in the corner of my garage now, just chilling there. And it was leaking oil. I didn't change any of the rear main seals. The front main seals just dripping everywhere. And I was afraid I was going to break something, being that was an old junkyard block. But now with the built motor going in and getting ready, I think I'm going to have some fun launching this car, having some fun, and then going to the track, going to the drag strip, and kind of seeing what the car can do. So let me wrap it up. That's a bushing install for the 034 DSG transmission mount for the dog bone. And first impressions will be in the next few weeks when you get to drive the car for the first time. You got anything for him, Stav?
Don't buy a 24 valve.
All right, I'm George.
I'm Stav.
This is Malaka Motorsports. We'll catch you guys in the next video.